and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a read and approval of minutes for our July 5th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This time we'll welcome any public comments. We got a retiring officer over here.
Mr. President, I'd like to take this opportunity at this public meeting to recognize Deputy K-9 Waldo, who has been with the Sheriff's Office, and Deputy Nate Biddle since 2009, serving the Hamilton County citizens. Deputy Waldo, while in service, has responded to 354 K-9 calls for service, has been on 223 tracks, 151 which were criminal in nature, 72 which were non-criminal in nature. Deputy Waldo has 39 successful fines, 1,787 hours of training, and has been participated in 57 K-9 demonstrations over his years of service with the Sheriff's Office. So if I could ask Deputy Nate Biddle and Deputy Waldo to step forward for a presentation of a plaque. You can see Deputy Waldo's getting pretty tired. And,
Time for some retirement.
after all those years of service, it's time for him to rest comfortably with his handler, Nate Biddle. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to present Nate Biddle and K-9 Waldo with this plaque in appreciation for your years of service to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office and surrounding agencies. Years of service from December of 2009 to July of 2017. So, Nate, thank you for your service to the community. Waldo, for your service to the community. Great ride. And we certainly K-9 Moxie and success in years to come with that dog. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Mr. Vice President, you have anything today?
I do not.
Okay. Highway Committee, Mr. McKinney.
We met today, and those items will be following later in the agenda.
President,
Yes,
since
sir.
we're on highway, I just want to thank the Highway Department. My intersection at Allisonville and Cumberland Road opened up yesterday, and we greatly appreciate having that intersection. It went from an intersection to a roundabout, and it's real nice. Thanks a lot to the Highway Department. It's a nice job.
All right. Well, since you're over there talking, how about you tell us about Finance Committee?
We did not have a meeting, but we've got one scheduled for a couple weeks from now. Everybody on the Finance Committee's been alerted. We got some new information. We'll be going over it on the solar panel issue. That's what the main topic of discussion will be at the Finance meeting.
All right. Personnel.
We met, and we will discuss those issues later on the agenda.
All right. Anybody want to put anything under miscellaneous today?
I would like to make a request that we move our September 6th meeting to the end of our Budget Day 1, September 13th.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right. I guess done is done, Madam Auditor. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to unfinished business. Seeing there is none. Huh?
I have one item.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'd just like to thank everybody and their participation in the county fair. What a huge success. I'd like to thank all the departments that participated out there. Very well attended, very well organized. And thank you, Mr. Steve Wood, for helping get all the grounds ready for that big success. Thank you very much.
I'd like to just add to that. I was out there, volunteered several days,
And of course, saw Steve out there, saw Kathy out there every day. Appreciated what they did. We actually had 264 H volunteers. Roughly, the county membership right now is for 4-H is about 1,800, and we have 75 10-year members, which I thought was outstanding. We had $6,000 in 4-H scholarships that were awarded for the food pantry drive. We had 800 pounds of food plus about 6,000 pounds of meat that was also donated. So it was wonderful crowds. A lot of the food vendors ended up selling out of food, so it was a wonderful thing. We did have an issue of one day, Friday, getting 6 inches of rain, which caused some flooding in the cow barn. And then, of course, the horse arena was flooded out for a day. So some events had to be canceled and others delayed. So that was unfortunate. But overall, it was a great success.
Cool. Very cool. Alrighty. Anything else in the miscellaneous? All right. Seeing nothing else, we'll move on to unfinished business. There's nothing there. Table business A, the rainy day fund, additional appropriation. Nothing, no motion there. Solar projects tabled at $8 million. In no motion, we'll move on to new business. Approval of vendor claims. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none. Okay, the ordinance of the amending the personal policy employee handbook for employees of Hamilton County, Indiana. Sheena, do you want to come up here? Anyone, you want to make?
Just to remind you.
Make a motion?
I'll make a motion, and just to remind you. Mr.
Second, okay, go ahead.
If we decide that we want to pass these amendments, we'll need to.
Okay, okay. So what we do, would we just table that?
No.
Okay.
Once anybody's got their questions, that if we want to pass it, we'll need to suspend.
Okay.
Good evening. The amendments to the Hamilton County Employee Personnel Handbook are before you. These amendments have been before the Board of Commissioners and approved. And most of the amendments are relevant to clarification to make sure that employees and supervisors are processing employee time and policies appropriately, and they also are relevant to new legislation. I have spoke to each of you. If you would like me to go through each section, I can. If not, I can answer questions.
I would like, anybody got questions for Sheena? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to pass this today.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we vote on it. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shannon.
All right, this is a resolution, item C, under new business, is a resolution of the Hamilton County Council recommended 2008 property tax limits for tax limits. I'm going to turn this over to our attorney just to give a quick brief on this. Chris, this is the tax and units one. That's the library, right, that we spoke of? No, it's not.
This is a,
Oh, that's two more down. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Well, is there a motion on this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Somebody want to explain this one really quick?
This follows the guidance of our financial consultant, Mike Reuter,
Oh, okay.
that the 2018 property tax levies to all the taxing units within Hamilton County not exceed the 6-year non-farm personal income factor for Hamilton County.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
Okay. Resolution concerning the purchase of real estate for Lowe's Way Ramp Project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Hey, somebody give a rundown.
Who, did anybody second that?
It's seconded. We've discussed this in Highway
On
Committee.
this right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed this in Highway. They basically need to move forward to see about purchasing. There's some apartments over there, and they're not talking about purchasing the apartments, but it's in that property area.
But this is for the flyover, right?
It's for the flyover. There's some property there.
Give us a thumbnail of what that's going to be.
What do you mean? They haven't, they're doing the appraisals right now.
Cost or what?
No, just what it's going to be.
It'll be, again,
Where's Brett? I don't know.
Joel, yeah, thank you, Joel. Joel's here, but it's going, south, and he can give you a little description. I think it's going to be parallel to the road right now, but go ahead.
Yeah, the project itself, currently, there's a northbound ramp on Keystone that goes to Lowe's Way, that eventually goes to 146th Street. Our project is going to take the signal at Lowe's Way, turn it into a roundabout, and that'll be the northern end of the project. And now we're going to have a southbound ramp, a lane, going from 146th Street southbound. And it will go over Cool Creek, which there's a bridge there now. It'll be adjacent to that bridge. And then there'll be a ramp over Keystone. And it'll basically, as soon as it goes over Keystone, it's going to dead end, and you'll be able to turn left or go southbound for southbound Keystone Avenue.
Right, given access that currently isn't there,
Right.
you can't use that right now, so.
This is phase one of 2 phases.
Good enough.
Thank you.
And we will give the resolution so they can start their right-of-way negotiation. Then next month, we'll have.
Then move to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now this one, it's the resolution of the Hamilton County Council for Hamilton North Public Library issuance of bonds. I'll make the motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Chris?
Is Aaron here? Is he, Culp, is he here? No.
Okay.
So I had a conversation with Aaron Culp, who's the attorney for the library.
Yeah.
They have a bond rolling off, and they want to issue a new bond to make some repairs. Because their service area is not only, falls outside of some of the incorporated areas, they have to get county council approval. Library is their own taxing unit, so this really has nothing to do with money or anything like that. It's kind of like what we did when I was on the Hamilton East Public Library to make
Right.
some renovations. It's similar, so we put it on the agenda. They just need our approval to go forward and do that. They've already got it all worked out, so.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll open the public hearing concerning additional appropriations.
I think, I don't want to back up, but I think the important thing about the library is that we, the county council, who are elected by the public, before bonds are issued in the public name. Some elected official has given.
Yeah. Okay, 144 amendments, additional appropriations, reductions, and transfers. First thing here is from the auditor. No, it looks like, right? Transfer of $9,654. I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, then the part B is a 144 amendment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, clerk, additional appropriation, $431,920. Is there, this is sponsored by Councilman Beaver. Is there a motion?
Make the motion to approve?
Second.
And now for discussion, Brad?
I met with the clerk and the head of voter registration a couple months ago. This was on our agenda last year, has to do with the polling books. And I spent a few minutes talking to him about what our issues were last year, and that if they wanted to come back this year, that I would sponsor it. But hopefully we've come to some understanding or something to deal with the issues that we had last year with it, which are namely security of the e-poll book and the dissemination of the information. I think I personally, I don't want to speak for them, so if you guys want to stand up and take a few arrows here, I'm willing to put the burden on Tammy, the elected official, that she's asking for it. So if there's a security breach, we've raised the concern of security. She's asking for it anyway. She takes the responsibility. As far as I'm concerned, we've gone as far as we can go of voicing concerns about security. If she feels like it's okay, it's all right with me. But I think other counselors have ideas as to how we can.
I had the opportunity today to speak to both Mike Howard, I talked to Jeff Heinzman briefly, part of the election board, and also spoke to Laura Campbell, the Republican Party chair. And the idea I outlined was that we still have not had an answer to our questions in 2015 and 2016, but they all seemed agreeable if the election board would adopt a permanent rule that there'd be no dissemination of information before 6 p.m. on election day. They all would agree with it and would say that, additional, and spoke to Chris, and he would research it. And once that rule was in effect, then I think we could.
I tend to agree with him. I think Chris was going to do some research on that, and Heinzman was going to take that to the election board, so.
Would you have an issue if instead of, as I understand it, you don't want anyone to get it, even though I read the code and it looks to me like the parties have to get it? We don't have any discretion there, but we're having a discussion about that. Would you have a problem if we said anybody that wants it, we'll give it to them? Would you have a problem with that?
That was where we were at before, and we wanted it to be that way before. I mean, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion today if that would have been the direction we went last year, by the way.
Tammy, is there,
Yeah.
I have a question. Is there a state statute that helps define part of these questions? Do you know?
Yes.
There is? That might be helpful to see what we can and can't do. It's a state statute.
It's Indiana Code 3-11-8-10.3.
Taking these, Chris.
I'm gonna have you grab that mic too, so we can hear you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's better, thank you.
B8, I believe, Mr. Jeter.
So we can have him do some research on that, and we'll see where we're at with it. That's basically the main concern, I think,
Should
for
we,
people.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
But shouldn't we resolve the issue of what they're asking us, all or none? Or do you want to, in other words, you know, we're saying as a council, I think, maybe not all of us, Rick's suggesting that no one gets it, and they're thinking it'd be easier if everyone got it.
Well,
Shouldn't we?
That's why we said our attorney, Paul, because we want to make sure, we want to see how he interprets that statute that said that parties have to get it. So that's what we would like to see for next meeting, is that.
Well, just as one member, I'm okay either way. Either everybody who's on the ballot gets the information at the same time, or nobody gets it until the election's over. But what I'm afraid of, or what I don't want to see happen, is if you're in some political position of power, you can use that information against other candidates that might be on the ballot.
And really what it is just a way to maybe one candidate to get his voters to the polls as opposed to another candidate that doesn't have the information.
Ultimately, I'm for no access or all. I mean, so again, I'm
Either
with Brad,
or.
it's either or.
Yeah.
Either or
I
is
don't
okay
have
with
a,
me.
And
just
Tammy-
as long as we don't separate
And
ourselves.
I would agree with that also.
I don't know if your question was to me or all of us, but I would say yes. I would go the same way it seems like the majority is, that everybody gets it, you know, it's open to everybody or nobody.
And that is what actually, you know, before when I told you that the law stated that the parties and the and watchers were entitled to it, and there's a statute that says that. I talked to Brad King at the State Election Division, and he says that if you choose to do it to everyone, there's nothing that prohibits you from doing that. It says these people have to have it, but it doesn't prohibit you. What we did at our clerks meeting, we went around to all the other counties that have this system and asked them. And I mean, I'll just be honest, most of them give it out. And some of them, like in Lake and Allen, have a scheduled time. They give it at 10, 2, and 4. And it's emailed out to whoever has, in fact, requested it. And that is something, you know, as Brad asked us to do, was to get an answer to that. And so I feel like we have gotten an answer to that and would hope that we would get your support.
The other question, and, you know, the hours, you can decide, or, you know, if the election board says.
That's the election board's decision, yeah.
Because, and they may change them, you know, they're all, because I talked to them, it was 9, 12, and 3. But the other question, just ask another question, we're almost 2 years after when this was first presented. Are the iPads still cutting edge technology, or is there anything surpassing it yet?
There's nothing new. Our gentleman's here that could address any questions you would have in regards to security or the
You guys asked that
iPads.
question, so you're
Yeah, no,
assured.
we are perfectly fine with the system.
So I'm fine if,
Yeah,
once the
I'm
election
okay.
board comes out with that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it from the
Then
election board as
I'm
well,
ready to vote on it.
to see how they're gonna move forward with it. That's, yeah.
So until that, I would move to table.
I'll second that.
Could you not move that it be all or nothing, and then we could proceed with this? Or,
I would say that why couldn't we go ahead and proceed with, based on the fact that the election board will determine all or nothing?
I'd like to see what the election board, I don't think that's unreasonable. We're only talking about one more meeting, it's gonna come up. I think you've gone a long way with the support that we're getting here for this, I think, really, you know? I mean, that's pretty reasonable. Our attorney's gonna go to the election board, and then we'll have something ready. I mean,
Well, do you have a question? I'd like, can I hear?
Go ahead.
Can we hear from Attorney Heinzman to see?
I'm gonna withdraw my table
no?
motion, so.
You're withdrawing your table
I
motion?
just
Well, just
would like.
because we're violating.
Yeah, we are violating it. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I just
Summons.
Do you have anything to say, Jeff? Yeah, pardon me? I have a question as to, is there anything, are we missing anything if we vote to have an all or nothing? Is there any reason, in your opinion, that we couldn't proceed tonight? And plus, you put me on a spot earlier.
That my Democrat colleague on the election board is also an attorney, Mr. Purvis.
Okay, thank you.
My understanding from what Kathy just said is that the state election board is taking the position that the statute that was just cited that Chris wrote down, was it 311 8 10.3 in subsection B8 requires this to be sent or to be reports to be provided to watchers and the party inspectors. Now, that is one interpretation of that statute. And the other side of that is, okay, so that would, if that's the correct interpretation of the statute, you can't have nothing. Okay? It will have to be sent at least to those people. But you can have the all that we were saying. Could require, and the election board could require, because there's nothing in the statute that prohibits it, that anyone who provides a valid email address prior, 10 days prior to the election, or however we want to word it, will receive reports at the specified times that we decide on throughout the day. So that gets you to your all. Your all is definitely possible. I think the section that we're looking at in that statute says that the system must permit this to happen, but another section of the statute, of that same statute, talks about that you, and I'm going to finish this real quick, that the poll book must transmit other information. So permitting and being able to and must transmitting to me says that the poll book has to have that capability. But yeah, now this is not the interpretation that Kathy is telling me that the election board has at the state level. So I think I would talk to Brad King if you wanted nothing to be an option still, and by nothing I mean not sending anything out at all on election day.
Or what
But the all is definitely an option. I have no question about that right now.
Nothing isn't existing even now, though, correct? I mean, so the way we look at it, watchers and, I mean, everybody, you have the ability now for them to get the information. So the only difference is that the speed is quicker based on the pads, but they have that
information
now.
That's why I don't think we have to tell them no. And get that information. Watcher, you are entitled.
So, Mr. Purvis, do you have any exception to what's said?
Well, I want to second a lot of what Kathy Richardson just said. I've been working the polls since 1972. In every election, the list of voters who have appeared and cast ballots has always been available to candidates, to the political parties, to precinct committeemen to get out the vote operations. And that's not a partisan political thing. That happens across the board, whether or not they take advantage of it. Going to an electronic system seems to me to be no different, as Kathy had indicated. The parties can appoint watchers who are entitled to it on the spot anyway, whether it's electronic or paper.
Well, it's a quantum leap in technology because you don't have to be physically on site. You can be remote, you get the list, and you don't know who's getting it because that person can disseminate it. And again, the people with the deep pockets, the candidates with the deep pockets, can have a very sophisticated get out the vote, and the other individual, wouldn't have stand a chance. So that's where I'm saying it's huge.
That is true even without electronic poll books. You can
It's a lot more
have a
difficult.
sophisticated, high-money campaign who has watchers at every precinct and reports it by cell phone on the hour.
Right.
And you can
That's
have
what I'm
other
saying,
candidates who are running on a shoestring that can't do that.
Right, exactly.
But that's a question of money and assets. That's not a question of access.
But if we could circle back to the concerns that the members of the council have expressed tonight, I think what I heard was basically a consensus that if we made the move to e-poll books, you would either want nobody to have access to the information until after 6 o'clock on election day, or everybody who has asked for access to the information to get access during election day.
Yeah, I think we agree with that.
And if that's the case, I can tell you, I think with a reasonable degree of certainty, that second option is definitely available. So if that's what you guys would require of the election board, I don't think we would have, or would ask of the election board. I think you could count on us to move it in that direction. That there's no desire, I think, on the part of the election board for us to only give this to certain people.
Well, that may be the case, and that is my concern. I won't speak for it. That is my concern, because as you move forward with technology, I don't, as a counselor, want to fund a project that would inherently help or hurt one candidate or another. Now, I'm not accusing you of doing that, but you may leave your job and somebody else take over with nefarious intentions. And whoever the people that are in that spot, I don't want to fund a system that gives it advantage to one candidate or another. So if we can go with all, that's okay with me.
Who made the original motion?
I'll amend my motion to, based on the condition that the election board approves all access on the poll pad information.
Second.
Jeff, do you know when
I think we can go sit down.
when you guys will meet to vote on that? When?
If I set up a meeting,
Okay.
it will be soon.
Okay, thank you.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Buildings and Grounds 144 Amendment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
EMA transfer, $3,900.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Recorder, adopt new job description.
You may want to dig down and find the real dirt on this particular issue.
Okay. Well, why don't you do,
I'm
why
kidding.
don't you do that then?
There's no dirt here. I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And amend the 144, is there a motion?
So
Brad,
moved.
did you vote on that?
Huh?
Did you vote on that or abstain on that?
Second.
No, I'll vote on it.
I said,
Aye.
Aye. Soil and Water additional, $9,300 from Councilman Ayers. Is there a motion?
What are they going to do with that $9,300?
I think Aaron's here, if you, oh, Ginger, I'm sorry, yeah, Ginger, I was thinking of the, hi, Aaron.
We've already passed.
Yeah,
Aaron's,
yeah, I know, but she's got some,
Trying to get out
but
of
no,
the
she's
hole.
got something else.
Hold her out by name.
Good
What are you going to
evening.
do with your $9,300?
So we applied for a grant to fund our urban agricultural outreach, I'm sorry, conservationist, who is currently grant funded. So we just want to extend that position past the end of August into the end of the year and into 2018. So this is just to fund them to the end of the year.
Okay.
Thanks, Ginger.
It's
Thank
been
you.
moved and seconded. All those in favor?
I moved to approve, I think.
All right, I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Sheriff, adopt new job description. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Wait, was he going to talk about it or?
Yeah, do you want to talk about this, Sheriff?
It's just a change. We had a sergeant in charge of training, and those duties and responsibilities have been delegated out, but we would like to maintain the sergeant spot for a late shift supervisor, so it's just a change of job duties and functions with maintaining the same position. It's no new money.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Madam Auditor, do you know who moved and seconded that? No. All right, well.
I moved to approve.
I seconded it.
There you go. All those in favor?
Aye.
144 amendment, job title change only, Part B of this.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was Amy, and that was Brad. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Number 8, surveyor transfer of $1,900. I will make the motion.
I'll second. I talked to the surveyor. He was not able to attend tonight's meeting. This is for a piece of equipment that is broken, and he would request that we fund this. Place it.
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hamilton County Airport Authority, fly-in invitation and a transfer, it says.
This, you already got your invitation, and these are monies that are going to be transferred out of the capital fund, so they. Rose is here to explain it if you need more explanation.
I wanted to just take the opportunity to re-extend an invitation to you to join us for the fly-in this Saturday, August 5th, from 7:30 to 2. If you'd be so kind, we'd love to have you.
Okay, thank you.
There's, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I think there's 3 sheets, aren't there?
No, there's this, no, Brad's coming here. HCAA Capital Fund requesting $231,000.
That's it. That.
Is there a motion?
Are you on C now?
Yes, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Beaver, what is this?
These are capital funds.
Okay, I mean, what is this $231,000
Some
for?
paving, some machinery.
Okay.
Some stuff they need to fix up around the airport. It's been through the aviation board to move it, capital funds. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a description on there.
Okay, there's 2 of those. Been moved to seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now we're on D, requesting additional appropriation of $1 million.
Yeah, this one is, this is for perimeter fencing design.
Construction.
Construction, we're at construction, we've already did the design. Perimeter fence around the airport to try to keep wildlife from running across the runway.
Where's this fund where does this?
FAA funds.
FAA funds, okay.
How high of a fence do you typically do?
So the FAA standard now, they've increased it. It's a 10-foot high fence with 1 foot of barbed wire atop of it. The old standard, believe it or not, they found deer were jumping it, so they increased it, I believe, 2 feet.
Do they angle it, or is it
They do.
spiral?
It will be angled outward.
Okay.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any more questions? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brad.
Auditors ineligible Homestead Fund 144 amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number F, local road and street fund requested additional appropriation of $276,000. Rick and I sponsored that. It's 2 of them. Is
So
there a
moved.
so moved? Okay. Seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Non-reverting operating fund requesting $70,000. That's from Rick McKinney. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a sinking fund requesting $1.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this $1? All those in favor?
Aye.
And another $1 from the Go Bond.
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Federal Highway Reimbursement Fund requesting $131,569. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And we got JDAI grant requesting additional appropriation of $85,000.
So moved.
Second.
What is this, Amy?
It's basically allocating the grant money that we are, so it's allocating to the grant fund.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, Problem Solving Court requesting additional appropriation of $7,000. Rick McKinney, sponsored. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, here we go. Veteran Court grant requesting another $8,000 on top of that, sponsored by Councilwoman Masalamani.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Community Crossing requesting additional appropriation of $700,000. Is there a motion?
Moved.
Seconded. Any discussion?
This is for a small structure near Cynthia Ann and I think 136.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Court recidivism reduction, $9,600. Is
So
there a
moved.
motion? Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Court recidivism reduction grant requesting another $9,600. Council, yeah, it's a, okay. Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Pretrial supervision grant requesting $160,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
What's that one right before that?
Okay, it's been moved and
The
seconded.
144?
Yeah. Is it,
What is that?
For both.
for both? Is there any discussion on this $160,000?
It's a grant.
It's just
No.
appropriating the grant
Okay.
funds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. This time I'm going to close the public hearing. Announcements, Sheriff?
I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to recognize
That was
Deputy
great,
Waldo
by
this
the way.
evening. Very much appreciate that. We did have an officer receive an award as well last week. Deputy John Tyndall, who's a school resource officer with us, works at the Hamilton Heights Middle School, was recognized at the National School Resource Officers Conference with a Regional Exceptional Service Award for his efforts in implementing a device-free zone at the Hamilton Heights Middle School.
Yeah.
At the dog pound there, and so kudos to him for his efforts and all he's doing at the Hamilton Heights School Corporation.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Sheriff. Council Attorney?
Nothing.
Madam Auditor?
I just have one thing. I actually neglected to get on the agenda a title change for Nancy Fletcher. I need her 144 title changed to Tax Adjustment Deputy. If I could have you.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Is that it? Meeting's adjourned.